our last video, we learned the first step in designing a data structure by identifying the data elements. I know the last video was a full lecture, and I kind of wanted to tear from that and move straight into creating tables and indexes. So in this video, we're going to learn how to create databases, tables, and indexes in SQL Server Management Studio. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the SQL Server Series. This video is brought to you in reference to Joe Marach's SQL Server 2016 for developers. If you're interested in purchasing a copy of this book, then please follow the link in the video description below. To create a database, you must use the create database statement. When you issue a statement like this one, SQL Server creates two files and allocates space for them. This is one of the data definition language statements. You use the data definition language statements to create, modify, and delete database objects, such as the database itself, the tables contained in a database, and the indexes for those tables. Now, typically, a database administrator is responsible for using the data definition language statements on production databases in large database systems. But every SQL programmer should be comfortable using these statements so they can create and work with small databases for testing. So let's take a look at them. These are all of the data definition language statements that can be used to create, modify, and delete objects. So we're going to go over a couple of these, and throughout our SQL Server Series videos, we're likely going to be using a majority of these. So at some point in time, you will definitely see an example of them all. Now let's take a look at our syntax for the create database statement. So this is going to be the basic syntax of the create database statement. And what it is create space database, as we just saw on the last screen. And then followed by that will be our database name. So if we're creating a database, we're going to specify create space database, and then we're going to put the database name that we want to name our database. And then we can put our optional parameters in here. We can say primary, and then in parentheses, we're going to say file name is equal to file name. This is our syntax here. I'm going to close those brackets. And then another optional we can add in is for attach. I'm going to explain all this here in just a moment. But this is our syntax for the create database statement. So let's see how it looks to create a new database. So I'm going to say create database. And then the name of my database is going to be new_AP. And then I'm going to run this statement. And commands completed successfully, so that means my database has been created. So now I can come over here in the top left-hand corner in my Object Explorer window and look in my databases list and see if my new database is here. And as you can see, new_AP has been created, and there aren't any custom tables yet. Of course, all the system tables and file tables may be there, but there aren't any custom tables here yet. So I'm going to have to create some tables for it. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach an existing database file to this database. And so I'm going to drop database new AP first. That's going to get rid of that database. And if we come over here and we refresh, we should see that new AP has been removed from the list of databases. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create database new_AP, and I'm going to do that on primary. This is going to attach a file name. This is using that optional parameters that we just listed up here in our syntax. So file name is going to be equal to, and then I'm going to say G documents Marach is SQL Server 2016. This is where I have my location at. And that's going to be in the SQL Server 2016 folder. And it's going to be databases. and it's going to be test underscore ap.mdf. I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to say for attach, because I want to attach that in here, and then we're going to run this query. And as you can see, it says unable to open physical file. Okay, file activation failure. The file name may be incorrect. Cannot create file. Could not open the file. So it looks like some issues here. So we're just going to pause and fast forward. And now we've been able to solve that issue. And our database was created. Looks like I didn't have my test underscore ap.mdf file in the right location, so it errored out before. But a little pause and fast forward, and we've got it in there now. At the top left-hand corner, you see new AP. And if we open it up and go into tables, we can see our tables are here because we attached the file name here on our create database statement, and that file consisted of our database and our tables. So when we created this database, it came in with some tables also. So what this tells us is if you have a copy of a database file that you'd like to work with on your server, you can use the for attach clause in addition to the on primary clause with file name to attach files to a database from either a current server or a backup server. So I don't want to bombard you with tons of information, so that is all for this video. But in our next video, we're going to learn how to create a table in our new database. So if you're interested in watching the next video, you know what to do. Head on over to database-tutorials.com, and until next time.